Okay, hello everyone. So today I'll be talking about the Groiler Encyclopedia, or Groiler Multimedia Encyclopedia. And this multimedia encyclopedia was released in 1995, and I got it with my Pentium 100 computer. It came with some software, and this was part of the software package. It came with this. It came with Groiller's Encyclopedia, Multimedia Encyclopedia. It came with a game called Chess Master 4000 or something. It came with Wolfenstein 3D and Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. Came with that also. And the interesting thing about this period was that multimedia was a pretty new thing back in the 1990s or early 1990s. And the thing about it was because of the fact that okay, let's see if that works. I want to use up. I want to put a lot of it inside the hard drive. So okay, guess I don't have enough memory there. Let's try E drive. This should work. CD is F drive, yes. Yeah, you have to install part of it in your hard drive in order for you to use this program. The neat thing about this is you have to also install QuickTime so you could see the videos. The interesting thing about this is you not only have like pictures and text, you also have graphics and sound as well. So this is before there was Google or high-speed internet or anything like that. So let's see. So I guess I have to restart Windows. Okay. I think that's because I installed something in my computer, and we had to do this a lot back in the 1990s when we had Windows 95 or Windows 3.0. After you installed something, you have to restart the computer. Okay. Now I want to get this on my desktop. So I'd go here. I think that's a program, so I want to send it to the desktop so I can run the program. Okay. If you want to find something, you just find it right here. Let's look at computer. It gives you information about computers. The first computer was a Abacus. Babbage, okay. Guess he made the first mechanical computer. It's an analog computer. A lot of information about it. ENIAC. got pictures and sound too. You could just look at that. Beverages differential engine. Gives you a picture of it. Not very high resolution, unfortunately, because you're only using the space of a CD, which is about 640 megabytes. Pascal's adding. Machine. ENIAC computer. Okay. At 1995 was, I guess, the modern period, so it's not very lacking. So if you go back to looking at encyclopedias back in 1970s or something, I guess the types of computers that you would see would be very large computers with using tape drives or something. I think there's also videos too. No, that's not a video. Let's look up something else. How about the automobile? Here's some film stuff.
A four-stroke engine, the type of motor found in most automobiles, uses 4 strokes in its power cycle: intake, compression, power, and exhaust. During the intake stroke, a descending piston sucks in an air.
See, this is why having an encyclopedia like this is good, you know. I mean, you can't in a book you can't have anything like this. You can't have videos or anything like this. But today, in the modern day, when we have Google and then high-speed internet and stuff like that, you could see stuff like, you could see videos about that and learn stuff about an internal combustion engine like this.
Through an intake valve. The valve closes and the piston rises, compressing the air and fuel to an explosive level. The power stroke begins just before the piston reaches the top, when the spark plug ignites this mixture. The resulting explosive force pushes the piston down, which turns the crankshaft. In the last stroke, the exhaust valve...
Okay, that's pretty interesting. You have videos and stuff explaining stuff.
Spur gears are a common type of gear and can be found in clocks. Their purpose is to transfer both speed and torque according to a basic rule called a gear ratio. For example, a spur gear connected to a second hand would turn 1 complete rotation before a gear connected to the minute hand turned 1/60th.
So this is very interesting. You have something like this. You could you also have pictures. You have to close each one. Okay, let's look up something else. Or let's look at this section. Animations.
Information in a computer is stored as thousands of zeros and ones called bits. On a CD-ROM, bits are represented by microscopic holes and bumps called pits and lands. When a laser beam is reflected off of these tiny hills and valleys into a photodiode, they turn into an electrical pulse.
I don't think you could find DVDs in this. There's no... because DVDs didn't exist. See? There's no such a thing. Let's see. There's no Blu-ray back then, so of course it's not going to be here because there's no such. It wasn't invented. No Blu-ray. see, electric car. There is something called electric car. That's quite interesting. Of course, there were electric cars in the late 19th century, so that is there. But there isn't anything like a Tesla in there, because Tesla obviously didn't exist in 1995.
Einstein contributed more than any other scientist to the 20th century version of physical reality. Yet his theory of relativity was so controversial, his Nobel Prize was awarded not for relativity, but for his early work on the photo.
Okay. So everything about Albert Einstein.
With the publication of the mathematical principles of natural philosophy, Newton, perhaps the greatest scientific genius of all time, became the leading natural philosopher of his age, describing a physical order that would be the accepted view until Einstein.
A pantheon of 17th century luminaries laid the foundation for modern empirical science, both as a method of discovery and a way of thinking. The inventor of the telescope, Galileo Galilei, incurred the wrath of the Catholic Church by affirming Copernicus' theory that the Earth moved around the Sun. Kepler's laws of planetary motion further confirmed the Copernican view. Rene Descartes, the father of analytical geometry,
Okay. You have all this stuff in there. It's very interesting. You have all these little screens.
With the publication of the mathematical principles of
Okay,
natural
we already saw that. See what else? There's also pictures and stuff. Various things, media. So of course all of this is going to be in relation to the timeline, right? When this stuff was published. So there isn't a lot of people in here that modern celebrities and stuff like that. So Jackie, let's see. Jackie Gleason, okay. From the Honeymooners, he's here. I remember watching that show. Steve Martin, okay. Got Steve Martin. So every celebrity isn't in here. That's a... Let's see, bird sound, different sounds. They got... Is the entire symphony in there? Let's see. Okay, that's interesting. You could also listen to music, classical music. And you can't maximize video because
Roger, you got the full throttle?
I don't think there's enough memory in the CD. Alright. This is how Encyclopedia's Grolier's multimedia encyclopedia was like. To get out, just exit. Let's see, there's some other stuff in here. Got timelines. Ancient civilizations. Something about Hammurabi's code. Got the Roman Empire. That's the Great Wall. Change the timelines. Okay. Got maps. Guess we could look up countries. The country of Austria. Let's see. Let's look at United Kingdom. There it is. England. Spain. Well, today we could definitely see a lot more. We have access to high-speed internet, and we could see anything we want on Google. Get information about anything. You can go on YouTube and watch videos about any subject. If you want to learn about astronomy, you can learn about how to do stuff and learn what a computer network is, learn about Active Directory, learn about different programming languages, learn about subjects about physics, learn how a gyroscope works, and basically everything. It's all on the internet today. And that's pretty interesting. A far cry from what we had in 1995. And basically, before the multimedia era, we really couldn't have, before CD-ROMs were added onto computers, the only encyclopedia that you could get was in book format, which I will show you now. And before we had encyclopedias on CDs, we just had to use encyclopedias like these. This is a Compton's encyclopedia. So this is a pretty old one. I think this was made or published in 1974, as you can see. Before we had Google and stuff like that, or even encyclopedias on a CD. We just have to rely on books like these. And look at the communication thing. There's no internet thing. There's no internet here because obviously there was no internet in 1974. Such a thing did not even exist. Here's one about computers. Got to be very gentle with this book. It's very old. Don't want to rip any pages or anything. Something about storage. Look at how old this type of computer is. This is how computers look like back in the 1970s. But the way they function is still the same. You have I guess that's a CPU right there with arithmetic logic input, main storage, memory, output, control, instructions, and more images of computers from the 1970s. And I have another encyclopedia. This is an Encyclopedia Britannica. It's kind of faded. It's very faded. Can't even see it. I do have the entire set. I didn't buy it. My father bought it for me. Actually, I just bought this book from his house, from my parents' house. This is 1974. Published around that time. And yes, before Google and electronic or CD encyclopedias like Grolier's or Groiler Encyclopedia. You just have to rely on books like this. And if you didn't have an encyclopedia at home, then you would just have to. You can go to the library, the school library, or the public library, and they would have encyclopedias that you could look at. But lucky for me, I had an encyclopedia set at home, so this is basically how encyclopedias look like. And they still sell them today. A whole set of Encyclopedia Britannica probably costs $2,000. Or the Compton's Encyclopedia, they have a modern version, probably 500 or something. So this is basically how encyclopedias look like. So now let's go back to the CD encyclopedia. So back when I was growing up in the 1970s and 80s, all we had was we had encyclopedias to learn about the world. But today we have something like Google, and we can find anything we want. So let's look up computers here. Information about computers. Or Wikipedia. This is a very common source of information about stuff, I guess, general knowledge. And since this information is always updated, that's quite a big advantage compared to having an encyclopedia which is published on a book, which can't be updated. So just like the encyclopedia that I showed you earlier about the Compton's Encyclopedia or the Encyclopedia Britannica, which was made in 1974, that the information there is just the information that they had at the time, or the Grolier's CD Encyclopedia, which was the information that was available in 1995. So they didn't have stuff which is relevant to today, right? And obviously there was no quantum computers back in 1995 or even back in 1974. Such things did not exist. And stuff like that is a modern thing, right? So this is all up-to-date information, which is interesting. And they didn't have NAND memory modules back in 1974 or 1995. Storage meant magnetic disk, right? Whether that be a hard drive or a floppy drive or whatever. So that's magnetic storage, like you saw earlier on that Compton's Encyclopedia. So you have magnetic memory, which is basically storage data storage. You have so much more information about a topic, right? With bibliography and everything else here, references, to show that this information is accurate and where they derived the information from. So basically, today we have access to almost an infinite amount of information with high-speed internet, and that's a big difference between living in the past and living now. So anyways, thanks for watching. Ace 1000 KS 19